Right, so UFC 294 just took place this Saturday, and I want to recap and look over the card, starting from the early prelims, going to the main card. Now, obviously, I didn't predict the prelims and the early prelims, but I did have in mind who I thought was going to win. Getting off with Sharon Magomedov versus Bruno Silva. I expected Sharon Magomedov to win. Let me bring up stats. 3 out of 7 takedowns for Bruno Silva. He needs, for a guy from Dagestan, Magomedov needs to work on his takedown defense, because if Bruno Silva's plan B is working on you, guys like Bo Nickel, all those kind of the wrestlers coming up in the middleweight division are going to deal with you handedly. I was impressed with his striking. His kicks have no telegraph. Like you can see from the differences in strikes and significant strikes. It was just not close on the feet. But in terms of the ground, it was quite, he just kind of laid on bottom, kind of sliced Bruno Silva with elbows, which is what you should do on the bottom. But it wasn't the most impressive performance. I expected him to be able to wrestle a bit. He had no takedown defense. I want to see him go up against Bo Nickel next. I think that's a matchup that makes sense. Is it a matchup I think he wins? Probably not. Is it a matchup I think he can learn a lot from? Yes. I'm impressed with his stand-up, his striking. There was no telegraph on his kicks. He's butchering the leg of Bruno Silva. Couldn't get the finish on Bruno Silva like I wanted him to, but Bruno Silva's, I don't think he's ever been knocked out. Pereira couldn't knock him out. I didn't really expect him to win, but I wanted him to win by knockout or TKO or some sort of way. Next up, we have Victoria Dudakova versus Jin Yu Frey. It was just a women's MMA fight. One knockdown, I believe, in the first round, and the strikes say it wasn't very entertaining. It was a women's MMA fight, Next up, we had Nathaniel Wood versus Mohamed Naimov. Interesting fight. I feel bad for Nathaniel Wood. Sorry, I'm struggling with the names. Mohamed Naimov was cheating left, right, and centre, really. He was grabbing the cage. He was groin shotting. Should have had a point taken off after the second groin shot. But, fair play. Nathaniel Wood at his moments. I'm sure he'll be back. I always look forward to watching Nathaniel Wood. He's always really fun to watch. I'm sure he'll be back, and I'm sure. Yeah, it was a fairly entertaining fight. Nathaniel Wood, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get a semi-entertaining fight every time. Next up, we had Mike Breeden versus Ashul Juby. Oh, fucking hell, I've not said that name properly. I'm really sorry. What a comeback. I'm just going to call him the Indian guy, was beating Mike Breeden conclusively, and then he scores the comeback knockdown. I can't speak today. Comeback knockout. Impressive fight. Impressive win even. He's usually the guy they bring in just to get beat up, and he got beat up, but he still won, so fair play to him. One of the better finishes on the card. Moving on to the prelims, we had Abu Azaitar versus Saint Chris Jamar. I don't remember this fight. I just don't remember it. I'm sorry, I don't remember it. It was a pretty shit card. Next up, we had Javid Basharat versus Victor Henry. I heard Victor Henry's fucking bollock exploded backstage or some shit. He was like throwing out backstage. What the fuck was the doctor trying to do? For starters, the doctor was saying it didn't even hit him. It did hit him. It might have hit him right in the crown jewels. You do not react like that. He was crying in pain. I was like nearly throwing up just at the thought of the pain. Sucks for Javid Basharat. He will get a match. I'll probably match him up with someone who obviously fought on the card later on. Yeah, Javid Basharat, he needs to start looking for finishes. and not exploding your opponent's testicles, but he needs to start looking for finishes to get his name a bit bigger. Muhammad Yahya versus Trevor Peake. I don't remember this one either. Looks like fairly low output. Yeah, I don't remember that one. I'm sorry. Muhammad Makhachev versus Tim Elliott. Tim Elliott was winning. Muhammad Makhachev found a way to win in the third round, like he always does. Like I never spoke about this fight, but I didn't think Tim Elliott was a bad underdog at all, and that proved to be true. You know, he's winning the fight. Muhammad Makhachev probably can't hang with the top flyweights, but he might. He needs some improvement. Bring him back in for like February, March time. Basically, whenever Islam fights, I think Islam should return first 3 months of next year. Yeah, it wasn't an impressive performance. Tim Elliott, I think, in the second round had a pretty tight triangle on him, and Muhammad Makhachev did slam him nastily. So that was probably the highlight of that fight, along with the finish. Now, then we had Saeed Nurmagomedov versus Moyan Gafarov. Yeah, it was. I'm so sorry. You know, he shot for a takedown. Saeed Nurmagomedov pretty much hit him with what is his signature at this point, the guillotine. I picked him to win. I didn't really know much about the other guy. I picked him to win. Didn't think he'd do it that quickly. Impressive. Iskar Maliskrov versus Wally Alves. Now, I apologise for what I was calling Wally Alves in my prediction video. I was calling him Wally Alves. It was like 2 o'clock. It's like 2 o'clock right now. It's 2:25 in the morning. I just make these videos really late or really early, depending on how you look at it, because I'm basically on an American sleep schedule. Really impressive from Ikram Aliskerov. He should get someone ranked. Actually, rebook him versus Nasty Namavov. Put that on, what is it, the China card, or maybe even the next pay-per-view. Yeah, he beat up a washed-up Wally Alves, who was on a 2-fight losing streak and is a welterweight. He did look impressive, though. His only loss is to Chimaev, I believe, back in like 2019. So, yeah, impressive stuff. This fight, this pissed me off. I think this pissed everyone off. Magomed Ankalaev versus Johnny Walker. I picked Johnny Walker as an unlikely underdog to score by knockout or TKO in the first round. Technically, he got it done in the first round. It was called a no contest. The illegal knee, it shouldn't have been a no contest. It should have been a disqualification. Or Pierre Arms still have his belt. So rebook this. UFC 295, maybe, or maybe the main event of the China card. Yeah, sucks for Johnny Walker, sucks for Magomed Ankalaev. He's never getting that title shot. But yeah, I hope to see that one rebooked, because it was honestly looking like a bit of an interesting fight. Kamaru Usman versus Khamzat Chimaev should have been a draw, in my opinion. Really close fight, kind of. Chimaev dominated the first round 10-8. The next 2 rounds were really, really close because not much was going on. You could argue Chimaev won the third round, but I don't. It's probably a draw. Chimaev apparently broke his wrist. Yeah, the first round was incredibly one-sided. Chimaev is like one of the most dangerous first round fighters. I don't think it was his gas tank. I do think it was his wrist, and I don't think he wanted to take risks later on in the fight. I say book Chimaev versus. He's going to need surgery, right? Book him in April, UFC 300 against Israel Adesanya. It's a favourable matchup. It's a big matchup. I know they said the winner of this gets the next title shot. I don't think he deserves the next title shot after that performance. I don't really think he deserves the next title shot beating Kamaru Usman in any way in general. He did attempt 4 submissions. I remember in the first round, 4 takedowns. He attempted 12. I remember in the first round, Chimaev, Usman kind of dunked him forward a bit, which is clever because it did look he was Chimaev was going to get that choke in. Another thing that impressed me about Chimaev that, even Usman doesn't do, and a lot of people don't do, is that he chain wrestles really well. He doesn't get a takedown. Like, say he's shooting for a double leg, he'll switch to a single leg, or, he gets a single leg and then he pushes up into you and picks you up. He chain wrestles really well. I don't think he was exposed because it was too close for him to be exposed. Right. The main event, Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski. Now, the reason you're not getting this on Sunday, because I know I've been inconsistent recently, I was going to do it on Sunday to be a bit more consistent when I usually take breaks on Sunday. This really saddened me. He knocks him out in the first round. What can you do? I picked Volk. This is the only pick I got wrong, technically, other than Magomed Ankalaev versus Johnny Walker. I was coping. I knew Islam was going to win. I'm pretty sure I even listed off reasons why Islam was going to win. I said, yeah, I'm going to go with Volk. I didn't think Volk was going to win. I didn't pick Islam to win, but I knew Volk was going to lose. I knew he's probably going to get knocked out. I was coping, and I won't do that again. I'm sorry. But what a performance from Islam Makhachev. He's the best fighter on the planet, and he's better than Khabib. Don't question it. Khabib's 3 title defenses. Let's look at his 3 title defenses. Right, they're good title defenses. Conor, Dustin, Justin. Conor's a favourable matchup for him, other than the takedown defence and maybe the threat of a left hand. Right? Dustin's a very favourable matchup for him. There isn't really a jiu-jitsu threat other than him being, a black belt. In like quotation marks, he's a black belt, just like how Bilal Muhammad's going to get a title shot. Is he though? Do you know what I mean? I think and then Justin, which did look like arguably the worst stylistic matchup for him. The leg kicks, and he did do good with the leg kicks in that fight, and the defensive wrestling. Look what happened. Islam has got a very solid title run at the minute. Obviously, it's not got the most names. It's got 2 names in it. Charles Oliveira, who he dominated, I didn't think he was going to win that Charles Oliveira fight. I thought Oliveira was a very bad matchup for him, and Khabib. Islam is a lot better striker than I thought. That's where that was proved to me, not in the Volk fight. Defends his belt against Volk, close fight. I don't argue people that say Islam won, even though I still think Volk won. I don't argue people because it was a very close fight. And he impressed me with his striking, but he more impressed me with his striking in the Oliveira matchup. I know what I'm looking at in terms of striking. I thought it was going to happen. Honestly, the knockout was going to be a bit later. I'm not sure if I mentioned it. I thought it was going to be in like the 3rd round with a knee. He was going to get him into the high clinch and knee him. A knee down the middle, that's what I was seeing. I said I was going to be happy if Volk didn't get slumped in the 1st round. He got fucked in the 1st round. It's unfortunate. He looks to be going through stuff. Please, please, please do not fight in January. Please. February or March. Just also not on the same card as Islam, because if he's on the same card as Islam, they're going to be using Islam's promotion of the head kick on the same card as Volk, who they're going to want to promote. It's bad strategy. Put him somewhere else other than that. Maybe book him on UFC 300 if you want a title fight on that card. Do not book him in January because Topuria will probably win. Topuria's got good power. He's good on the ground, So if Volk can't handle the power, he's going to take him down, maybe get subbed. Don't do it in January. It's a bad idea. Yeah. Obviously, look at the stats. 46 total strikes from Islam. 39 landed. 29 of them were significant. 24 landed. 18 total strikes thrown by Volk. 11 landed. 6 significant strikes, 4 landed. I don't think he landed a significant strike, if I'm being honest. I didn't see it. Yeah, it's a sad defeat for Volk, but if he doesn't fight in January, I'm sure he'll be back. I'm sure he'll look all right. This could be the end for him. Now, I was originally thinking, maybe don't go down to featherweight. Like, obviously go down to featherweight eventually, but not straight away. I was honestly thinking keep him out for a long time. Have him fight the winner of McGregor Chandler. And if it's McGregor, then he can lay claim to a bit of history. He's fought every featherweight champion ever. That's like a weird circumstance, right? If Oliveira loses to Islam next, and Islam moves up, it will probably be. I can honestly see them doing McGregor Oliveira for the belt, which sounds silly, really. Yeah, no. Have him fight Topuria, have him fight Topuria. Have him do it in like February, March, just not on the same card as Islam. I feel like my voice sounds a bit off today. I'm a bit ill. I'm sorry. Yeah, overall thoughts on the card. It was like I want to say a 6 out of 10, but more like a 4.5. Really, it wasn't very entertaining. I'll give my quick picks for this card actually. Jailton Almeida. Yeah, that's my thoughts on that card. Jailton Almeida's gonna win. Probably, unless Derek Lewis does some fucking freaky shit. Wouldn't put it past him. But yeah, that's my thoughts on everything that went on. You know, the Volk's defeat hurts, but yeah, please like and subscribe.